Hi, welcome to our first video on Big Mama's Football, and I'm your host, Liam Fields, with my two co-hosts, Daryish Dahesh, wave to the camera, Daryish,
Hello.
and Mark Sperdlov.
Hello.
These are the initial Yahoo fantasy rankings, and we are going to react to them accordingly. All right, the top 10, pretty
I
standard.
mean, concisest picks for 1 and 2, Saquon and McCaffrey. I don't think you can really debate that. So
Yeah.
That's true.
I think we're all there. Zeke's a pretty solid number 3 there. I like him there. Michael Thomas.
I have
Some people are gonna give me hate for this, but I don't think he's the number 4 player.
No, I would take Dalvin Cook over him, especially in fantasy where
Alvin in fourth.
yeah.
Now, see, there's where I'm hesitant about. I want to pick Dalvin Cook 4th overall, but he's every single year that he's been a starter, he's been injured. He's never finished the season healthy, and that's what scares me. It's a little bit worrisome.
No,
I
yeah,
just feel like there's no options better than Dalvin Cook in that number.
Look, I mean, tight ends did draft an O-lineman. We want to see how he fits into that scheme. If he's good, great. I'd honestly take Derrick Henry over Cook.
So you're liking Derrick Henry at 4.
I want to say right now, I'm going to keep him at 4th. I'm moving Cook down to 5th. Michael Thomas is a solid number 6.
6 behind Kamara. I mean, right in front of Kamara.
In front of Kamara, yeah.
All right. All right. So you guys agree mostly with the top 10. Okay, but here's my question.
I actually have some problems with the top 10.
Okay. So some problems with the top 10, but
all right, what are your problems, Mr. Dahesh?
I would move Dalvin up to 4, and then I would put, I think, Michael Thomas at 5. And then I think after that, I would put Kamara on top of Henry, in front of Henry.
Wow.
Because I feel like I just don't feel like Derrick Henry can do what he did again.
You can't replicate that.
He can, because people are going to catch on to him, in my opinion.
Well, then can you make the same argument for Michael Thomas? People are going to be catching up to him. And he's in such a diverse wide receiver pool now with Emmanuel Sanders there.
Joining that
I
corner.
feel like that's going to help his situation more because people were going to start to pressure him a little bit more. But now with the addition of Emmanuel Sanders, they're not going to be able to do that.
You don't think maybe they
No,
try?
I don't think there's any situation in the league where they would double cover Emmanuel Sanders and leave Michael Thomas in single coverage.
Well,
I don't see that happening.
Well, it's not double covering Emmanuel Sanders. It's just that there's so many weapons. There's also Jared Cook.
Exactly. So that's stealing away targets from Thomas.
I think there might. I think the Saints underutilized Jared Cook last year.
That's fair.
And I think they might use him a little bit more this year.
And I think also Alvin Kamara, because he's also a receiving back, I think we're forgetting.
Yeah.
He's a big run after catch guy. So, I mean, and he missed quite a bit of games last season too. So I think, I don't know, if he stays healthy this entire season, I really think that's going to be stealing carries and receptions away from Thomas. That's why I'm a bit hesitant on him.
Yeah. Okay. So some differing opinions in the top 10. But
yeah,
my question is, what pick are you taking? Like, if you had a choice.
Oh,
in our
easy.
8-man league, what pick?
I'd either take 3rd or 1st.
3rd or 1st. How about you, Daryish?
I would take 1, 2, or 3 because, I mean, I see McCaffrey and Barkley as kind of interchangeable. So I could take a better second-round pick. But then I would get back-to-back picks with the first pick. So, I like them the same. And then Zeke, just because I would get a better second pick.
Now, is there a scenario in where you would trade your pick for a lower pick or no?
Oh, 1 through 8, you mean?
You get the 2nd overall pick. Would you be willing to trade with someone for, let's say, pick number 8 or pick number 7?
No.
I do. Now that you mentioned it though, I do like the later picks in the first round because, like you guys said,
that is very true.
Picks are going to be dropping. Like you guys think Michael Thomas should drop to 6th, maybe even 7th, and you think that maybe Derrick Henry could drop that. And I would take either of those players with the 7th or 8th pick. So honestly, a later pick doesn't seem too bad in the first round. Not too bad.
Now, where do you guys see Devontae Adams fitting into this ranking?
I honestly
do you
like
where he is?
Adams here. I think this is a reasonable spot for him, just because I think this is.
So you're willing to rank Devontae over Tyreek Hill, Julio, Chris Godwin, players like that?
Well, Chris Godwin for sure, in my opinion, for sure. Devontae deserves to be higher than Chris Godwin. Tyreek.
I like Devontae there too. Honestly, I do.
I think Devontae is the second best receiver in the league, especially for fantasy this year.
I don't know. I mean, every year he's always in this top 10 projection. He never finishes in the top 5 receiver pool.
Yeah. Last year he had some big injury problems too, but I think.
With that. And speaking of that injury, I think that's kind of what's also boosting Aaron Jones's ranking up here. Because I think a large factor of his large success last season was due largely in part to Devontae Adams' 2019 toe. What was it? Turf toe?
Yeah, he had turf toe for 2 weeks, and then
he just wasn't the same receiver. Kind of slowed down.
With his shoulder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And then D-Hop to the Cardinals. How do you think that guy's?
Let's talk about Aaron Jones for a second.
All right.
I think
who we're talking about.
This is an unpopular opinion, but I think that Aaron Jones should be a little bit further down. I would rank him as far down as like 17 or 18, actually.
That's what we're saying.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
So Aaron Jones is worse than Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb.
No.
I think he's worse than those two.
I'm going to change that, and I'm actually going to drop Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb significantly down. Not significantly, because that's a stretch. Because if you look at Nick Chubb's production from last year, it slowed down dramatically from carries given, touchdowns, and yards the second Kareem Hunt came into the backfield. And Kareem Hunt's not moving. So
that's kind of a dangerous game to play.
I think a reasonable idea if you are planning on drafting Nick Chubb is that you have to handcuff him with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. I mean, what are we thinking about Josh Jacobs this year?
I love Josh Jacobs in this Raiders scheme. I love him.
Do you think he's pretty low? He's at.
I would put him at my 9th overall player.
Yeah.
He's at 16th right now.
I'd put him at 9 for me.
I see all these other running backs in front of him, like 9, 13, and 14. I see like problems in all of them. Like Aaron Jones, they just picked up A.J. Dillon. They just drafted A.J. Dillon, so now that's.
And they also have Jamal Williams too.
Yeah, so now it's a 3-back committee. Joe Mixon with his holdouts. So you don't know
potential
over there. And then
the Bengals have been known to be very frugal with their money, so it's not likely that they're going to shell out a huge contract for him at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then obviously what Mark said with Nick Chubb and Hunt.
Yeah. All right. What about Austin Eckler?
I am a big supporter of Austin Eckler.
I'm actually going to say, I'm a pretty big fan of Austin Eckler. I'd move him above Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon only because of the Kareem Hunt issue and because of the potential holdout. Assuming Joe Mixon gets signed, I'm going to keep him at that position.
All right.
Yeah. I would say Joe Mixon's better than Austin Eckler if he plays. But I would still put Austin Eckler over Aaron Jones.
Now, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but where do you guys see the whole situation between Chris Godwin and Mike Evans?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. So Chris Godwin, 4 spots ahead of Mike Evans.
Wow. And I think that was pretty much because of last season, because of Jameis Winston, who's known to be a gunslinger in the offense.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a curse for him.
Yeah, we all said that we would take Mike Evans over just
definitely
target from Brady.
I think Tommy really likes those big reliable targets like he had with Gronk earlier. So
last year they were also double covering Mike Evans a lot more than Chris Godwin. So I think the addition of Gronk into the offense will free up Mike Evans and his targets a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, so where do you guys see the whole, I guess, argument between who's better, Travis Kelce or George Kittle? Who's better?
Yeah, they're ranking Travis Kelce about, I think that's 6 spots ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know.
I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm
not a big fan at all.
I mean, I would never pick a tight end that high up in the draft.
Exactly.
But the thing is that if Sammy Watkins isn't chief next year, Kelsey's going to have a lot more targets coming his way. I just see that as a huge upside for Kelsey over Kittle, just in the tight end rankings.
Well, then they also drafted another speedy back. I mean, it's another speedy receiver. And they have an up-and-coming Tyreek Hill's already kind of made a name for himself.
Yeah.
They also drafted that new running back. What's his name?
His name is...
Hilaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clyde Edwards.
Speaking of that, I can't believe that they passed on DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, well, it was just the 32nd pick. I think the Chiefs did not have that good a draft, but that's another talk for another video.
Okay.
But me personally, I'm going to have to easily put George Kittle above Travis Kelce. I don't think that's a debate for me. I'm kind of made peace with that. I'm not budging with that.
So the top QB we see up here is Lamar Jackson. Thoughts?
I don't see him replicating the same season he had last year.
No, exactly. At all. I think the way that he plays, especially running the ball a lot, it's too dangerous for a quarterback of his caliber to be playing because he's already established that he has a good enough arm to be in the NFL. So I think it's just ridiculous for him right now to be running the ball as much. And God forbid, replicate what happened to RG3.
Yeah.
And
I think he's
the slippery slope.
But he might regress a little bit. I could see that.
Oh, yeah. I think he'll finish a top 5 quarterback regardless. Easily. I think top 5 is the floor for him if he doesn't get injured.
All right. Okay. And then Kenyon Drake and Miles Sanders right next to each other. 21 and 20.
I'm going to have to go with Miles Sanders above Kenyon Drake. Props to Kenyon Drake coming into a new system, into a new scheme, and finding success right away.
I like Kenyon Drake, honestly. Yeah.
But then with the addition of
D-Hop,
DeAndre Hopkins, we don't really know how that's going to pan out target-wise and target sharing. And I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to start relying a little bit more on the passing game with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think they're still going to try and stretch that running game as much as they can with Kenyon. But I could see him having a top 25 season, but I can also see him having a pretty bad season. But
I'm a bit hesitant of picking him even in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
I think he seems like more of a 4th round, especially because I don't know if Kingsbury is going to try to go with like a 2-man or 3-man committee.
So you'd rather have him in like the top 25.
Yeah. I would push him down to like at least 30s.
Okay. But Miles Sanders still top 25.
Now where do you guys where do you guys see Allen Robinson fitting into this entire thing?
That was my next question. For rounding off the top 25, Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay. What do we think?
I love Kenny Golladay and Allen Robinson. I don't really have any complaints about their positions or rankings.
They'll finish this top.
I would personally be happy with taking either one. I think I'm a little bit leaning towards Allen Robinson because they did drop Trey Burton. They dropped another one of the receivers. So I think that's going to be leading a lot more targets for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think if you're taking like a late 1st round pick, you're probably either getting Kenny Golladay or Allen Robinson in the 3rd.
I think that's safe. I think the best strategy right now is to go 2 back in the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
And then I say receiver, flex, then receiver.
Well, it's just dependent on your position in the draft too. I mean, if you get the chance to get Michael Thomas in the 1st round compared to Aaron Jones, I would take Michael Thomas any day in my 1st round.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, hey guys, thank you very much for watching. If this video can hit 5 likes, we will do 25 through 50 of the Yahoo Fantasy Ranking reactions. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe.